Man, looks like we're gonna have to pretty soon here make ourselves an automatic tree farm, you know, with like TNT and stuff. Anyway, folks, welcome to another episode of Trufflez Technical Minecraft. It's episode 26 already. That is pretty far in the series. So last episode, we built that thing up there. That is, ugly. We also went over the new potion lab system that I've been working on. Of course, we're still going to have to wait that one out. There's a lot more that needs to be done in order to get that thing to work. But anyway, folks, today I would like to change gears once again. We're going to be working on some of the more visual parts of the base here. As you can see, we still got a lot of grass and dirt kind of exposed. And I also want to get some railings in here because right now this is kind of like a safety hazard. And there are a couple more things we can do with the mob system today, but we're not going to get this thing done quite yet. I think that might be next episode. But anyways, folks, let's start with these bridges here. We're going to be tearing out all this grass and replacing it with effectively quartz. I want to see what this is going to look like. Let's also figure out our railing material. I think we should probably use good old stone slabs. Let's go ahead and fly on over here and see if I have any more in this chest. Here we go. Ah, yeah, we got plenty left. And let's go ahead and plan out this railing on this side. I do want to have this kind of go diagonally all the way up to about right here. And then the railing will just kind of organically follow whatever shape it ends up being. And every so often, I want to place a birch pillar, which I'm going to strip. And I do want to put a light on here, but for right now, I'm just going to put that as a placeholder. Looks kind of ugly, but whatever. And then we're just going to go ahead and run slabs all along the edge here. So that's kind of how it turned out, and I think that's going to, well, I don't know if I like it or not, but that's what we're going to have to go with. Every once in a while we can put a break, maybe like right here, and then we'll put a birch pillar on top of which will be our light. Actually, we do have some shroom lights on us, so might as well go ahead and put one down. It looks pretty bad, I think, but we'll roll with it. So we need to be able to make the bridge tall enough so that a boat can pass under it, or at least I'd like to be able to do that. And when you're in a boat, you are sticking up about 1 meter above the water level. So we have to have this at least this high. Let's go ahead and place our first layer here. It's going to be kind of like that. I'm just going to continue to add layers to the bridge here, and we'll see what kind of shape it ends up in. Alright, so we're just finishing up here. I just need to place some shroom lights in these 4 corners here, and we'll cap off these lights with some good old stone slabs. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, I do want to go ahead and replace these corners with some stairs so they kind of match up with the whole appearance of it, but I unfortunately just now ran out of stairs. That was my last little bit of quartz there. But let's go ahead and take a step back and look at what this new bridge looks like. And yeah, it's fairly modern looking, and I think it looks half decent for a fairly minimalist looking bridge. Of course, we're not quite done yet. We do have this other bridge to build here, but this one is going to be a lot simpler. Like before, I kind of want to do that design where we have the middle of it kind of lower than the sides. So I'm going to start by placing some quartz on this side in a U shape, and then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side as well. And we'll do this for one more layer, and that'll be the height of the final bridge. Now all that's left really is to go ahead and fill in the rest of the quartz, and there we go. Alright, I just added a couple more railings, and let's go ahead and see how this place looks. I do like the new look, but I think the shroom lights are definitely not the right lighting block. Alright, so now we have redstone lamps put in, and I've also gone ahead and put in the shroom lights, kind of peppered all the way throughout this other lake. But for right now, I think we are pretty much done here. Alright, so that gave us about a stack of glowstone, which is probably going to be, ooh, that scared the crap out of me. Probably going to be just enough to be able to get this next project done. So what I'm going to do is tear out this area right here. It's all stone, but I've been wanting to tear this out for quite some time, but we're going to be replacing it with lights. Alright, and there we go. That's looking better already. For the next part of this thing, I'm actually going to be putting in the same railings that we have down there up here. Let's start with this section up here. I actually want to kind of clear this place out and make a nice archway, kind of like that. I think it looks pretty decent. Just have a little bit of cleanup to do. Right about here, I want the ceiling to go up a half block, and then we'll be using slabs for the rest of the ceiling, kind of like so. I will take this up one extra block, kind of like this. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Oh! Luckily enough, we have these portals set up so we can quickly teleport back to where we left off. Gee, that's a little bit embarrassing. Oh man, look at that. Made a friggin' mess of this place. Anyway, we should finish up that little archway there after it's been rightfully blown up. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. And I also want to put in a little bit of a railing here as well. Kind of like this. Not too sure about that actually. I think what I could probably do to make this look a little bit better is make the path 1 block wider on both sides. That is looking kind of weird. I think what I'm going to do instead is raise up the sides by half a block. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Half a block, kind of like this. It'll give some depth to the build. And then we're going to skip half block and place our railings up kind of like that. There we go. Of course, need to clean up the sides a little bit, but, you know, this is definitely an improvement. Oh, you... Alright, so as you can see, I've kind of gone a little bit ham with everything else here. But what I'm doing right now is I'm actually adding a little bit of a border around the outside of our pathway here. This is not something that I did in the on all the paths down there, because they're kind of like a boardwalk. But up here, I think it will actually make this look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've done so far. And yes, I know it's asymmetrical, but just try not to think about that. Yeah, I'm actually not too sure if I like this or not, but I think it does look better than before to some extent. Like, in comparison with this is really flat, but this has a lot more depth to it. I think we might be able to do this in other parts of the base as well, just to add a little bit more depth to our otherwise monotonous paths. Alright, so that is looking pretty good already. There's plenty more stuff that we can do around here to make this place, like, totally finished, but I think we should probably move on here, just so we can get a little bit more work done on some of our other projects. Alright, so one little thing that, we definitely should do is something that we could have honestly done a very long time ago. You see, when we went to the end that day, we got a whole bunch of shulker shells. Now, shulker shells are what you use to make shulker boxes, but we didn't make any shulker boxes. So let's go ahead and fix that. Shulker boxes are very easy to craft. Actually, I think we are not quite set up here yet. I think you have to have a chest, and then you can put, yeah, there you go. So you can make a shulker box out of a chest effectively. As I mentioned before, shulker boxes are a way that you can store items and move them around in your inventory, but it's much more superior to other methods of storing items. Right here, I've got this shulker box, and I can just put in a bunch of random items, and then I'm going to break it. Let's just compare that to how a chest works, right? Like, you put a bunch of stuff in there, and when you break it, all the items just spew out. Unlike that chest, all of our items, as you can see, are stored inside of our shulker box. The other really great thing about shulker boxes is you can put them in ender chests. So you put the items in the shulker box, you break it, you place the shulker box again, and the items are here. Same thing happens with the ender chest, but the biggest difference is that the ender chest does not actually store the items in the item that you pick up. So while I did put a bunch of items in my ender chest, if I were to throw this away and get another ender chest, the items will still be there. This means that if you leverage the powers of both of them combined, you end up with an extremely effective storage system. So now if I lose my ender chest, I do not lose the items in my shulker box. So I really hope that made sense to anyone who actually needed the explanation. Both of these storage mediums are very different from chests, but they have their own benefits and their own downsides. Now folks, there is actually an extra trick that you can do with your shulker boxes, which will make it even better for organizing your storage. So as you can see here, I've gone ahead and dyed this shulker box blue, so it doesn't actually like change the interior of it, but it does make it a lot easier for sorting your items. And there's one final thing I want to rave about these shulker boxes and how good they are. That is, you can rename shulker boxes. I'm going to go ahead and call this one building because I don't know. And I think this light blue one I'm going to call tools, because as you can see, we got a lot of random tools on us. I can just go ahead and store them in the shulker box and not really have to think about them. Now in a perfect world, what you'd probably do is fill up your ender chest with a bunch of different shulker boxes, and that way you'd have access to pretty much any tool you want, as well as potions, blocks, or anything else that you could possibly want at any given time. So before we wrap it up here for today, I want to build the nether half of the mob system that we have. We're going to have to cover this entire floor here with hoppers, which is going to take a bit of iron. And then we're going to have to pipe those items from those hoppers into some kind of a dropper system that will push them automatically through this portal. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice some hoppers from our potion lab. We have to put a dropper facing this way. And then from there, we can place our hoppers in a chain going all the way out to here. And then we can go ahead and fill in the rest of this pad with hoppers. There we go. And the wiring for this should be pretty simple. All I have to do is take out a signal using a comparator that will be going into a resonant repeater followed by another comparator set to subtract mode. And then I believe we just have to run some redstone dust like that. And why not just put another repeater like that, and I'll just go ahead and put a whole bunch of items in there, go through the portal as quickly as I can, and we should see them shooting out the other side. Should being the key word. I wonder what happens if we throw an item through this side. Oh, there we go. That's something that was added recently. What is going on there is when you send an item through the portal, the area on the other side of the portal gets loaded for a few seconds. Now, if someone goes through the portal, the act of someone exiting the portal on the other side unloads the chunks and deactivates the redstone. So I don't think this is actually an issue. As long as there are mobs flowing through the mob farm, it should keep the chunks on both sides loaded, so we probably won't be seeing an issue with this. So one last thing to do here before we wrap up, I'm going to grab some packed ice. We're going to be making some water streams down there so we can collect the items that come out of that portal and just dump them all into chests for now. So I'm going to set up a little bit of a water alignment system. What I'm going to do is make a 4-block pad here in which I'm going to put water. For now, I'm going to use a slab kind of sitting right here that will block off any water and allow items to shoot through. Then I'm just going to place a chest down here with a hopper underneath of this slab to collect any items that do come down. That will allow items to align themselves to the left side there, even if they're on the right side of the stream. Then they get automatically put into our chest here, which I can't open because that's how chests work. Let's go ahead and fix that and get our items back. So yes, this is a very temporary setup. In the future, what I want to do is take this ice road all the way around here and have a giant storage system here that will sort all of the items from the mob system out into the respective categories of item. So we can have things like arrows, bones, gunpowder, and other mob drops kind of like in their own sorted columns. So yeah, folks, we're going to have to wrap it up here for today. We did get a lot of things done today, both in the technical and in the visual parts of the base. We got this whole kind of road thing figured out, and the railings down there are looking pretty sick if I do say so myself. But yeah, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and if you have any suggestions for future ones, please do leave them down in the comment section below. So that's pretty much it, folks. I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.